Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's time for yet another one build in 1 week video. And we're actually going to be building someone that probably everyone has been screaming at me to build. Not in the comments, just internally, and that's totally fine. We're finally building one of the most meta DPSs on my account. Lore-wise, an absolute badass. And, you know, just the first character I ever pulled their signature. Yeah, I'm finally building Skirk. Part of the reason I never built Skirk was because I had Ryo, and everything that I learned about Skirk I used for reethnicity, which is fine. However, it is now time because as we inch closer and closer to Khaenri'ah, where Cryo will become meta, I should have another Cryo DPS built. Especially because I have one of the top ones on the account. And this way I can run Freeze on Skirk and I can run Ryo on Melt or whatever I decide to run him on in the future. So let's go over everything because her build is not pretty. Yeah, she is only level 61. I just recently leveled her up from 50. So we have... I did, however, when we were building Eon-san, Skirk was one of the characters that I was contemplating building as well. And I was like, let's see if we can do it. Did not go anywhere close, but I did get all of her boss materials. So we just have to get the Cryo. I am running her on Azure Light, mainly because I don't want to think about building another weapon. I am kind of thinking, until I can get Arahaizen a better weapon, of running Skirk on Sword no Tsukuitsun. Also, I'm just going to say, this sword 100% fits her aesthetic. And it's not too much where it feels like it's just lost in it, like Azure Light. I'm just gonna say that. Like, this kind of feels like it gets a little bit lost, but I think there's enough contrast here that it almost fits perfectly. I'm just gonna say. If you are looking for something more aesthetic, but still viable, this is a completely free option that you can use and you could get at R5. I don't know how well Numa and Osea work, because I wasn't playing when those mattered. She is technically on a 4-piece finale. None of the artifacts are built. And these two are not good for her. I just did it so we could have the 4-piece set. This could potentially work, but I do have some cryo goblets that could potentially work. I just don't want to take them off of people right now, so we're running that. And then this, it's a decent HP goblet. It just, HP means nothing for her. And I was like, at least we'll have the side stuff. Obviously C0 because she's not on Temper Thyself. 545. I have started getting some of her stuff, but I have no Mora. So that is going to be the interesting part. Sorry, Skirk, we're cutting you off. So I don't have much of anything for her, and we have no money. So I'm very nervous. I do know one, I don't really know how to play Skirk. You're going to see this. She's been out for almost a year. Still don't know how to play her. So if I do some dumb shit, just know it's because I don't know how to play her. Okay, so it's time to test everything out. We are not including Masanori because I used the babysitting team, which there's nothing wrong with the babysitting team. What the issue is, this is typically going to probably be the team that I run Skirk on. Because I need 3 of these rifts open. I want to keep like the view thing. And of course, Shingsho, the true DPS of this team. Did I mess that up? I do want to get at least one big burst in. I want to at least see what her Okay, so the strongest hit we've been able to do is 17k, which was probably by Xingqiu. Okay, so I can't even get like the technical, like full burst going. That's gonna be it. We couldn't even get Skirk doing more damage than Xingqiu, which is interesting. I'm trying to like look at. I didn't realize I could just look at my stats that way. Oh god, I'm stuck. Skirk in this team isn't even doing the most damage. So that's definitely something we're going to need to work on, which we'll be getting into now. So first thing was we needed to get the cryo crystals, so we ran Dottoro's weekly boss as well as Signora's. Honestly, the cryo crystals are the worst to find, and as always, I never really like showing the co-op fights just because these people aren't agreeing to be in them. But we do manage to get enough to get a chunk. Is it much of anything? Not really, but fortunately, I had enough that we could get a gemstone. Moving in, because there aren't that many, again, there aren't that many cryo crystals that you can find easily, specifically in the weekly bosses, I had to run Andreas. And this is a kind of scuffed team. I am in the process. Actually, when this video comes out, we should be like right on the verge of Lunar 7. And I believe I am going to be going for Nicole. And I think she's going to kind of be the missing piece in my vodka team. But that's why this is sped up. One of the biggest things with Skirk is she is meta, and I always just feel like I don't know how to play her at all. And I think it's a lot of the newer ones. It's one of those things that you kind of just have to play the character in order to actually understand them and learn how to play it. But I very much am the kind of person who is just like, let's just like button mash and go there. And I don't think Skirk is typically that character, so it's been interesting. But we get one of everything from Andreas. And no cryo, which I'm pretty sure he dropped cryo. But we do manage to get Skirk's, I believe, skill up to 6, and now heading into Blushi's contention. I still have not figured out who I'm supposed to use for this. Sometimes I go into this domain with Pyro, because that's how you're supposed to fight the big lava dragon statues, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So I try running Flints, because Flints is just like my go-to in terms of damage. Like if I want to get a big damage number, Flints has been the character, and I'm running Autodon just so that I have the Night Soul. I still don't know how to fight this boss. I'm being honest. It irritates the ever-living hell out of me. Still haven't figured it out. But we managed to get a philosophies as well as some of the guides. And we were able to get Skirk's skill up to level 6, which is nice. And we also can get her burst up to level 5. Next, head into the Wayward Hermetic Speaker. This is another one that's just really annoying. I know this is a Skirk video and I'm not using Skirk at all, but so many things that drop cryo, you can't use cryo with. I mean, I'm sure you can, and then you're just like brute forcing it, but because I don't have knowledge in playing Skirk at all, I just use my vodka team. Again, this is just another really good example. I am getting so tired of him being too squishy. I tried using Xinyan. I think I've tried Paimon also. I'm just like, I cannot get a good shield. The issue with Xinyan is she needs, like, her shield varies depending on how many people are on the field, and Thomas is just HP, but it's not going to be as much. Again, it's part of the reason why I'm going for Nicole. But don't worry, because we have the friendship team, which I usually don't show these. I don't know why I kept it in, but it's fine. But fortunately with the Wayward Hermetic, they only drop cryo, so it makes things a lot easier. But of course I now can't farm it anymore. And now let's move into leveling up artifacts, because we have a good feather. This is a good feather. All she needs is crit and attack. Like, the flat defense sucks, but like literally whatever is in that spot is going to be dead. And another. That's all we're going to do. Back to the phonetic speaker. And at this point, my game freezes because I've been having issues with my laptop overheating, which is how I film. But of course, the one time I can't show it, I get a chunk out of it. And yes, I did take that picture just with my phone at the screen. I couldn't even get a screenshot. Anyways, more hermetic runs. And because at this point I was so irritated with everything, I was just like, I'm just gonna run the XP ley line. And mainly so I can finally show Skirk. Because I feel like she has improved quite a bit, but we will get to see her in all her glory a little bit later. But ahead and get a tiny amount of XP books, and we can build up the chunks. Back to a boss that I'm just like, eh. But again, we get cryo, and that's all that matters. I've been questioning honestly in terms of my Skirk build. Not necessarily in terms of the build, but in terms of the team comp, who I should run. I've been trying to play around because I don't have a Skirk and I don't have Farina, so I'm running Shenhe, Dahlia, and Xingqiu. Let me know if you have any other like 4-star suggestions. Also, this was from Eon-san's build, and the only reason I showed it was just because like it had all the stuff I needed in it. I've been hunting Primo gems for Nicole and Durin, and now Lohan. More contention runs, and at this point I was just like, let's just run the Skirk team but replace Dahlia with Movuika, because I don't have Silali. I don't have like any. I think Shenhe's the only 5-star support I have, but we do manage to get everything built up, and now Skirk is level 6. Also, this is one of my favorite things when you come to this spot. You can just force these treasure hoarders into the water. It's great. Let's get more books, and we can almost level her up, but again, I like just saving my stuff. And we get terrible rolls for the flower, but the feather is so much nicer. Back to hermetic. And that seems to be all that we get. It's like essentially 2 fragments. Like, outside of the one time that my computer just was too expensive, like just blew up, I was like, no. This is foreshadowing. But also I did get a jade. Because something very fun happens during this video that I don't realize. It's fine. But at least now we have all of Skirk's stuff leveled, and with the event going on, I did want to show like some of the stuff that I was getting, because like even though it's a 1 week 1 build, you know, I am still using like the events to help. But Skirk is now level 70. And we can get her up to 73. And now time to throw more into getting as many gemstones as we can. But fortunately, we do get some more stuff from the event. The events are always nice. I wasn't even planning on using the event stuff, but I was like, you know what? Skirk's kind of low. We'll use it. Well, let's get the feather leveled up. I don't think I actually showed the 16, but yeah. 1s across the board, it's not the best thing, but it can't be worse than the stupid flower that I'm gonna have to re-roll. I don't want to run Xingqiu now, but I just don't have a choice. I just don't have any other options because I don't have any more companions. Because the game has been ass to me. Nope. Oh my god. Here's the bad thing. Like, Skirk isn't really built, so I was like, I don't know how she's going to do. I mean, I've kind of used her in a bunch of like this kind of backup ones. She's been doing the work. I will say, it's been nice. I will say also MVP is Chi-Chi. Shinsho definitely does damage, but... And considering that I have been seeing... It's really interesting. Yes, I did use Skirk to finish out the Imaginarium. Honestly, she kind of was the missing piece, but I think I just needed another DPS. I accidentally did cut some of it, but it's fine. I wasn't paying attention! We're 60! I didn't think I got that much! I'm not even kidding. I was like, oh, okay, we'll probably have to do, like, all of, like, the event quests and everything. I didn't realize. I hit AR60 in the stupidest way. I wasn't even paying attention. Oh my god, that's kind of hilarious. I wasn't even paying attention. But we did it! Yay! So yeah, I hit AR60 during this video. We cleared out Imaginarium, hit AR60. It's kind of crazy just how much we managed to do. And I now have enough of the talismans for Mizuki. But I don't believe we have enough gemstones, so we had to move to Illawa Endurance Boss, which gives us the 50-50 on what gets dropped, but at least we got some jade. That's all I'm asking for. I can't wait to build Illawa, even though, like, he serves no purpose, and we finally got something good. We finally got a jade chunk. Like, how many times have I done these and not gotten good drops? Although I will say, I'm working on Tignati right now. It's not gonna be a video, and I did get a gemstone drop, and I'm like, are you shitting me? But we are able to get Skirk up to level 79. And again, I always like running around for the last little bit, so I go and fight the, like, Giga Chads of the Hydro Slimes. I don't know what these technically are. I always forget what they're called. But I also was like, you know what? I want to run this Skirk team a little bit, because sometimes when I build characters, and especially with Skirk, I notice, like, I don't tend to use them, and I just use my babysitting team. But I feel like most of the time I was building... like in previous videos, they were supports, so I could kind of make it work. Also, I was just like, I wonder what my crit looks like. Just like out of curiosity. But it's always interesting because really the only two DPSs that I've built have been Kave and Skirk now. And I'm so used to playing either Ryo or Adahaizen or Flint, and lately I've been playing Vodka, like, non-stop. I just have not even thought about actually using the DPSs that I have, but we can extend Skirk. And now it's time to run nothing but the artifact domain in the hopes that we can get anything. And don't worry, it's my luck. So we'll get Barasa pieces and nothing for Skirk. Don't worry. I'll just go ahead and spoil it. Look at that. We got 3 and nothing. And nothing. It always sucks when it's like, oh, but it has crit damage. It's like, but no crit rate. Or worse, EM and ER on a piece. It doesn't matter. And again, just nothing. it's been some time since I built Skirk, but it is time to look at the results because we actually did quite a bit, considering that we took it from 60 with, I genuinely don't remember if we had artifacts on her, but like, look at it. 2,000 on attack. The ratio is pretty good. Just the numbers are really low. However, because I'm going to be running her on a freeze team, like, it's like an extra 15. So I could probably do some more crit damage. But considering I still have the scuff to shit artifacts, I know people are going to be like, why do you still have like the attack and the healing bonuses? Because I don't have anything else. And I was like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and put the finale like 4-piece on her and rock and roll with that. That is the comp. Now it is time. I'm not doing this on screen, but you will hear my reaction. Time to update Akasha because I haven't updated it since we started. Currently sitting at 575,462 for combo, which I think is just the generic one. Drum roll for what is now updated. I believe we what happened? Sorry, I'm like looking at my... What happened to my Ryo? Sorry, I'm just looking at my Ryo. He is in a completely different category and I don't know. Oh my god, it's because of his EM. I switched the okay, that is not what we are here for. We have moved up actually quite a bit. We are now 558,490, which does not seem like a massive switch. However, we do have a pretty decent feather. We have a fairly decent feather and a not so great flower, and we're not going to talk about the sands. But none of those numbers in Akasha mean anything until we put it into practice. So let's head to our test dummy. Okay, we have made it. I am incredibly curious to see how this is gonna go. Let's see if Skirk can do more damage than Xingqiu. I don't have any sort of... I do not have any sort of like idea for like lineup. Okay, we're actually doing fairly decent. Now, again, I know people are going to look and see the fact that like the strongest hit is only 30k. However, one of the biggest things is our main DPS is actually doing DPS damage. Okay. Now, again, I do not fully understand how to play Skirk, so I wish there was a way that you could, like, stop and then be like, oh, okay, this is what my numbers looked like. Okay. Thanks, Skirk. Okay, so after looking at the numbers for a little bit, I will say that, for one, considering the fact that now Skirk is doing more damage than Xingqiu is great. And the second fact is we have almost doubled what our strongest hit was. Now, I've been trying to look at the DPS numbers, but what I have is a little bit off and trying to just quickly go through everything. But I do remember we got like 31k, and before all this was 17k. Now, that might not seem like a lot, and y'all might be like, well, you could have done a lot more. Yes, I know, if I actually had a leveled up goblet or circlet, but I worked with what I had, and for a week, the fact that I was able to put together a 4-piece set is really helpful. Like, definitely there's still some work that needs to be done And I'm sure there are probably people that are going to say that I should get her up to 90, but I don't have any character up to 90, so that's a kind of a pipe dream. But it's mainly just going to be working on artifacts. But honestly, I don't think I'm going to work on her artifacts until Finale is finally in the strongbox. I do not want to do that fight anymore. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching me finally build a meta character. I don't know what the next 1 week 1 build is going to be because I am hopefully going to be getting even closer to just not having any characters that I need to build. So it might go to pre-farming for characters. That might be what we hit next. I do still have a lot of characters, so by all means, if there's a character you want to see built, let me know in the comments below. Just keep in mind that I kind of only film these once a month, so there might be characters that are just already built. Or if you want to see me take a character that is already built and farm their artifact domain for like a week or so and see if we can just get better. Specifically like Akasha. I kind of like the idea of running like specifically just an artifact domain for a week and seeing like, can we get characters like increased on Akasha or something like that? And the only reason I say specifically Akasha is just, it is specifically, I think, more for like artifacts and fine-tuning that as opposed to building the characters. So at that point, it's just kind of fine-tuning them. And I am contemplating on I'd love to do a video where it's like getting my Risley to top 1%. But again, these are all things that I'd love to do if y'all want to see them, so subscribe and let me know, and give this video a like if you did enjoy it. I will say though, I know I'm not typically the person to say subscribe. I do have a special video that is going to involve a lot of torture on my end once we hit 100 subscribers, so if you want to just see me suffer, just like subscribe. Again, I not only make Genshin content, but I also make a bunch of variety other fun stuff, so hope you enjoy. But I will see y'all next time. Bye!